Here we go! Chat, we got another cross-region matchup. It's Evoh versus Death, or Death LFY. I'm not sure which one he wants to go by now. I used in the last YouTube video Death_LFY because I think that's his more recognizable name. I want to say it maybe came from a time when he played on console, and that was his console name, but since switching to Steam, you can have whatever name you want, so he's just Death. But he's going to play Evoh today here on the European servers, so both these guys rocking pretty decent ping. Honestly, the Middle East versus North American games are pretty even. I think we should do a lot more of these, especially the US East guys. I'm, gonna start looking for more games. I've talked to Death about it already. I said I'd love to get more of the KSA guys versus some of these US East dudes, and maybe, collect up a little bit of money, and I'll offer some prize pool for some games. Hopefully we get that going soon. I just need to give Death more specifics, and I imagine he will reach out to some people for me, because I know he's got more connections than me. I have none. And hopefully we can get some fun games. But one of the games we might have gotten was this one, Death versus Evoh. I think Death, who's only played one time on stream, has a lot to show us here. He's only played against Daniel, and unfortunately, a lot of different 1v1 players have now played on stream and only against Daniel. So they have only losses, but they're really secretly great players, and I think Death is going to prove that here in this 1v1 against one of the better 1v1ers in the eastern region of the United States. Evoh will get his first goal. But Death in the top 10 of the Middle Eastern 1v1ers. Right now, he's super high in the leaderboard. In the ranked leaderboards, he is, I think, probably in the top 5 of the Middle Eastern guys. I'm not sure. We'd have to go check it. But when he played against Daniel, one of the things that people said was, I don't know if that's fair to put him up against Death. There's, better KSA guys. And I don't know. I think Death is playing really, really well right now. I think these people maybe need to realize just how good Death is. And to be fair, I can't take too many opinions on the Middle East scene because I haven't watched it nearly enough. I'm not going to try and pretend like I'm a pro other than the Khaled games. But Death looking really, really good, and at least as far as the leaderboard goes, trying to prove that he's one of Middle East's best. He also is a player of two-mans. Check out the Discord in chat, !Discord, because he is the highest rated two-mans player. He plays all of his two-mans games either on, I think, East or Europe, but kind of insane. He's able to beat players on insane ping, which seems to be a trend for the Middle East guys. They just don't care what the ping is. They'll play on ridiculous ping and still get the win. And that might be a situation for Evoh, who doesn't normally have to play on 96 ping. There's no way we're not just going to play on EU the whole way, because they have exactly perfect ping and 90. And as anybody from at least US West or not purely US East knows, 90's fine. 90's playable. It's a little bit annoying in 1v1s, but a little bit annoying is far from, being not a competitive match. I think this is just fine. The true OG Rocket League players will remember when the game originally came out, and I think 70 through 100 was all yellow ping. When you tabbed into the scoreboard and you had 70 between 100, it was yellow, and I think maybe over 100 was red. And truly that was a lie. Iffy! Iffy absolutely interrupting my boring talk about the ping in the game. By the way, I'll finish it real quick. Basically, Rocket League moved the green ping all the way up to 100, and I think that's more accurate. But Iffy, gonna give $90 more. These guys playing for $100. Iffy loves the number 100. He's absolutely infatuated with it, and every time he sees a number that isn't 100, he feels like he needs to correct that. So he is gonna add $90 to the prize pool, $100 prize. I will let these guys know in chat, and I will quickly update it here. Just need to add a 0 and get back to the kickoff before it happens. Iffy! Chat, Iffy has hooked us up so much. He maybe is approaching having donated more to prize pools than RJC, which is insane to say. RJC donated 500 straight dollars for a single match, and I think he's donated like a couple hundred more at other points, but easily Iffy is approaching that level. And these guys now get the opportunity to play for a nice big one, and I think this is well deserving. This is really well deserving. A game of Death versus Evoh is a really high level matchup, and they're gonna get to put on their try-hard caps if they didn't already, as they try and secure some of this money. Evoh has lost a couple different money matches in the past, or a couple different $100 plus money matches in the past 2 weeks against Daniel. So now he's got an opportunity to win some money against somebody different, but I don't know if Death is that much easier. Death, a really, really good player, and I think we can expect a lot from him. He is playing right now at a miserable time, though. In his defense, I don't know if he frequently stays up, because he always does seem to be up around the time we play. But can anybody in chat tell me? I don't know the exact numbers. This is a great delay dribble, by the way, from Evoh, and then forcing Death up into that pre-jump. But how far ahead is he? Right now, on the west coast of the United States, it is 6 p.m. He's at least 8 hours ahead, right? So I guess that's not unreasonably late. That's only like 2 a.m., which, I mean, kids stay up till 2 a.m. all the time. But he played his last show matches, I think, around like 4 or 5 a.m. And that is if it's 8 hours. I don't know if it's actually 8 hours. I'm just taking a real general guess. It's almost 4 a.m. here. Yeah, so it's more like 10 hours, which is just crazy. I don't know if he stays up this late all the time or if he plays his best Rocket League at this time. But he is able to handle Evoh so far, tying this one up. A great ceiling play, trying to take it all the way to the ground for the wave dash, and Evoh did pretty well to stop it at first, but not going to be able to stop it completely. Parried, gifting a sub to Iffy. I don't know if there's anybody in chat more deserving of a sub than Iffy right now. Welcome to the crew, the Feer crew. Evoh with possession, tied 6-6, and a nice delayed flick here. He threatens a couple different power shots right there, and that's what forces Death to go into the shadow position. He needs to prep for that power shot. He would have been in trouble if he went the challenge. And so that slight fake ends up being the recipe for being able to sneak it behind. And it's so important to remember all the little things these guys are doing to make sure they secure these goals. Kickoff in favor of Evoh. You'd think that the high ping kickoffs would be in favor of Death, but Evoh's been able to hold his own. And as KV1 showed us, KV1 and Daniel, honestly, Daniel did a good job with the kickoffs too when he was playing on 180 ping. That you can make the adjustment. These players are good enough. I know I play on a 190 ping server and I pretend like the only reason I lost was because I couldn't possibly kick off with that ping. What a shot from Evoh. This is an absolute rip. Evoh just launching a strong clear into Death's half. Usually that's a mistake. Usually you don't want to just launch a power shot away from yourself into the corner of the opposition, but he finds a way to get under the ball and ripping the absolute boomer of a shot. Z-Staff is exactly right. Boomed it was, as he puts himself up 9-6. Death, the flip reset, getting fancy in the air. His wall to air game has looked really good for the past few, but Evoh able to keep him out. Death, this flick weak. Evoh shadowing at a good distance, making Death feel the pressure, making him get rid of that ball sooner than he would have liked to, I'm sure. And then the open net shot from Evoh. Evoh going up 10-6, has turned it around right around the Iffy donation. I think the Iffy donation was when he first got the lead, and he's been able to hold on to it. Well, how high do you have to get in ones before he recognizes you? We've played games with you before. Death, a good kickoff goal. He has a chance with 24 seconds. How high are you right now, Bull? But yeah, top 100 is definitely the minimum nowadays. But I think you got top 100. You've been top 100. You're like 1,500. Bull, I didn't realize that. We will get you in here for some games. If you're 1,500, as far as I'm aware, 1,500 is like top 50-ish. I'm so sorry, Bull. Your point is made, my man. Oh, it's not? But okay. Oh, never mind. Then forget it. Evoh, a very fancy dribble. Death's gonna go change cars. Well, you Googled why you feel acid in your throat, and it said pregnancy, so you guess you're pregnant. All right, chat. Congratulations to RV Llama on the child. Evoh gonna take game number 1. Death, what's it gonna be in? Chat, guesses. Guesses, quick. Before we ready up. Death switching out of the Fennec into something else. Or will it just be a Fennec, but a different style? It is the Octane. The person with the most boring guess ends up being right. But it's okay. Because Octane Death is maybe on another level. Who knows? Evoh versus Death, game number 2. $100 prize pool. Iffy, iffy, iffy. The man of not the hour, not the week, but maybe the entire year and world. Hooking us up so much. Very generous. And I know these guys really appreciate it. Nice dribble from Death. Death has gone to the dribble a couple times. Seems to be able to do it effectively. He is going up against one of the better air dribble bumpers there is. And maybe one of the things about Evoh's air dribble bumps is he doesn't exclusively run them. One of the reasons why he's so good at them is it's not he's just going air dribble bump every single play. This is a great flip reset. Wow, Evoh, what a shot. Going for the dribble we originally called the Daniel dribble all the way from the back corner, grabbing that 100 boost. It's so hard to make this a worthwhile shot, but Daniel was the first to really do it himself, and Evoh has followed suit. You were 1 game off top 100 earlier, and you got Evoh and lost by 1. Rip. Wait, 1500 is not top 100? Dude, 1500 used to be high in the top 100. Now you're telling me it's not even top 100? Evoh from the midfield, nice save. Octane better for flicking than the Fennec. Interesting, yeah. I've always felt they're pretty similar. When I play in the Fennec, I think it looks cool. I actually think the Fennec looks cooler than the Octane. But for some reason, and I hate to say this, man, because I hate when I see other players say this, but it just doesn't feel like I'm as quick. Does that make sense? I think it's because the car is like slightly bigger, and it looks like it turns slower just because it's like wider visually. But truly, I hate so much when players are like, I don't know, it's just I'm fast in this wheel color. It's no different. But I guess I'm falling into the trap as well. A nice low 50 from Death. Death trying to catch Evoh, sleeping, rolling the ball all the way to the corner, but Evoh able to keep the 50 out. Death once again trying to hold on to these dribbles just a little bit too long. He's right to want to wait until the challenge comes, but he's losing so much momentum in his dribble, and it's taking away a lot of his options. At some point, you need to just close the distance faster, make a play before it's too late. Right now, he's getting a little bit stagnant, and Evoh has found some opportunities to steal away the ball. And now Evoh, dribble of his own, taken away right away. Death with the backflip challenge, hiding behind the ball, able to steal it. So a slowdown of the game here. Not in speed, but in scoring. Either one of these guys has been able to score in a while. Evoh not going air dribble bump this time. Instead, trying to get that late touch. You see him floating behind the ball, intentionally not touching the ball, and the reason why he's doing that is he wants the ball basically to have a obvious trajectory. The way I see it, these guys want to make adjustments. They want to see the player making a read on the current trajectory of the ball and then adjust it as late as possible to force the miss. And it just didn't matter. Death making the save, saw the high touch coming and made the adjustment, and then able to eventually get the leading goal up 3-2 halfway through this game, and a nice flip reset wave dash. He has been good in the air so far. Finally starting to get rewarded. Evoh trying to make a save off that back wall. The thing about going up for that dribble, Death threatening going high, Evoh feels like he needs to play defense off the back wall. And when Death does a good job of setting up that wave dash really far away from the post that Evoh is making his save from, it makes it very awkward, and it's much easier to win that 50 like Death did when Evoh has to cover so much ground across the net, jumping off the wall. So very smart play. Death realizing Evoh playing defense off that back wall could potentially be exposed. And he's up 4-2 with a couple minutes left to go. Low on boost here. Evoh trying to double to himself. Death gets a slight touch on Evoh and is able to recover in time. But Evoh, an extreme boost advantage here, and he'll continue the starvation as he takes shot after shot. Death has forced Evoh off the ball, though. A nice full clear. And he is out of dangerous way. Not afraid to stay on the ball, or at least it seemed like he's out of dangerous way, but Evoh quickly back with a possession. A long shot just barely wide. Death is doing a great job right now, playing defense with low boost. What a good stop. Wow, that was a great play from Death. A very heads-up save to kill the ball. He has been handling such great shots. He's going to get rewarded. Death. A very good set of defense from Death. And he'll finally get his counterattack as Evoh goes missing. Death, playing with low boost, was getting so many good saves, and more importantly, making sure he can follow them up and not get caught out of position. And that ended with what was one of the best saves of all, a really soft touch to make sure he killed the ball right in front of himself, and he could carry it away for a possession, which is hard to do and risky. When you go for soft touches like that, you're risky potentially missing, and Death knows it, but he's got the execution to make it happen, and he'll continue to extend this lead with a nice kickoff power shot. Death gonna say, are you lagging? Death says, no, are you kidding me? 90 ping is nothing. This is beautiful. Evoh can't handle it though. Death, this air dribble got lost early on. You really need to hover those air dribbles in a position that you can make adjustments and can't just force it down. But Evoh's gonna forfeit. A missed play hits the worst part of the wall and turns into a free bucket for Death. So Death will tie it up 1-1. Evoh maybe also slightly forfeiting in order to get a new server. Evoh versus Death. Game number 3. Death taking game 2. Evoh taking game 1. Nice and tied up. Death gonna stay on the Octane. Evoh restarting his internet. The man who easily, out of anybody on stream, normally has the best ping, is not loving his 90 ping so far. Death, a nice flick for a first. You need to see him? You want to see the dog? We'll see if we can get him on. I might pull him in after this show match. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Evoh rip like 8 ping, almost no joke, I'm pretty sure. He is normally in the server rooms of Psyonix, at least for the USC servers. But this Europe server, he's back on 90. And I almost feel bad for the guys who can get games all the time at 9 ping, because they really never get to practice at this 90 ping or this higher ping games that a lot of people play in. And I don't think it's an excuse for Evoh. I think he needs to be able to figure it out here. 90 ping isn't egregious, but you could tell when these guys have just played in it less than their opposition. I'm sure Death is completely unfazed, has played probably hundreds easily of games at around this ping, and while Evoh can probably get away with playing every game he plays on US East, I don't know how many times he has to reach out from US East to play any games. So he probably rocks very low ping for the majority of his games. Boo-hoo, they have to deal with 90 ping. Yeah, I know, I agree. Evoh, soft touch, not enough. Couldn't get back up in the air in time. He's lagging all over the place. You heard it. You heard it here first. Copium. You're not wrong. What's the dog's breed? He's a Springer Spaniel. Death 3-0. Evoh lagging all over the place. Said he was going to go reset his internet. Apparently, maybe he never did. Same ping. Ping doesn't matter. He's not wrong. If you guys do want a little internet lesson, if you haven't already had it, ping doesn't necessarily matter in terms of lagging. If you get consistent 90 ping, you aren't really lagging, you just have a delay. lagging is usually like packet drops where you miss whole segments of internet and you're not necessarily, you know, just getting it delayed. So it's very possible that Evoh is lagging frequently, despite, for the most part, having 90 ping. Or he could be assessing what is just higher latency with lag, which is, you know, not necessarily the same thing. Wait, did Daniel just confirm that he's playing on NRG? There it is, chat. YouTube video clickbait. Daniel confirmed joining NRG. Death up 4-0, unfazed by the internet, and Evoh very much phased. Can we go east? Dude, you're on the same exact ping. It's tough. I don't know. I mean, I get that you could be lagging, but we can give you different USC or different Europe servers. Honestly, someone's got to sign Dan before he turns 15 just to have him as a sub, if someone else doesn't pick him up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I think the Dan frenzy will be interesting. Death a sixth. What was a very competitive close match, Evoh is arguing is completely null now because he is apparently lagging up the wazoo. This man is copium, like literally the definition of copium. Well, a bummer. A bummer that the match had to go this way. Evoh definitely playing interesting now, whether it's because he's tilted himself with some internet troubles or he truly is having terrible lag. Not to diss Drees or anything, but if Drees can get picked up by G2 in place of Rizzo, Dan can replace anyone on any team. I think the thing about Drees getting picked up is it sounded like, I don't know, like kind of fortunate. I'm not sure. At least he might have just not been telling the full truth, but when he mentioned that he was a sub, he said that he like asked to be, and then all of a sudden Rizzo was gone, and they're like, okay, we'll try out the sub, and then the sub worked out, and I don't know, it seemed like a special situation with Drees, but maybe not. Maybe they specifically picked him up as a sub, intentionally knowing Rizzo was going to be leaving to sub him in. 7-1 for Death. Evoh maybe having server issues. He's going to forfeit here in this game number 3. Death's going to go up 2-1. So we can give him another European server, but I don't know if we're going to go to US East. Here we go, chat. Death versus Evoh, game number 4. Game number 3, not going well for Evoh on the server we were on, saying he was lagging a lot, but I just, you know, I don't know if it makes sense to go to East. I think we got to try just a different Europe server. Hopefully this server for Evoh is a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, the serious lag, I'm not sure that's going to get fixed so much about switching servers. I think latency will get fixed by switching servers. And not to mention, this is just as fair as it possibly gets. These guys are rocking the exact same latency on this server, or these servers, so it just seems like we're going to have to stick with it. Death going to get a first. These guys quick to score here in game number 4. You're the best at losing when you have a 5-goal lead with 30 seconds. Hey, man, everybody's the best at something. Death just barely falling into the ceiling reset, losing the ball a little bit here. And Evoh is playing super aggressive. Not heading to any boost, man. He is just rushing to the ball. We saw Evoh for a long time, although I haven't really noticed it recently in his previous matchups. He would just miss big boosts. And it's not that he wouldn't go for them. It's that he'd go for them and then turn right at the last second and not pick them up. And he hasn't had that problem as much in recent games, but it used to be almost a signature move for him. Death with a lot of open field. He's going to drop it low. Very smart. I was about to say, Death had been playing really, really well when taking it into the air. His air dribble bumps and his air game in general has been getting the best of Evoh, so he mixes it up and drops it at a crucial moment, the exact moment that Evoh expects him to take it into the air. He drops it down and scoops it under. Evoh, one step behind right now in terms of the Death switch up plays. Nice 50. Good early challenge to cut that off when he could with 0 boost. Trying to stay aggressive, though, and Evoh will rip a nice cross-field shot. Keeping the pace fast when your opponent has very little boost is a great idea. Evoh knows Death got that save to push the ball away, but is not going to be able to play quickly, not without boost, so he rockets the ball back off his own wall and is able to get a quick counterattack before Death even has a moment to grab any sort of boost. Nice play from the ceiling from Evoh. Well placed, but whenever you place a shot low on the ground, regardless of how good you place it, you're making a risk. If Death is able to save it away, or if the opponent's able to save it away, they're going to quickly be into the counterattack because they will immediately land on the ground after the save and will work it to the other side of the field. So you absolutely have to score when you try and place low, or be really, really quick on the recovery. Evoh was mentioning how he'd like to play against KV1, and this is a nice first step into what a KV1 series would be like. Evoh playing on, you know, poor latency for him. He'd have to play on almost double that if he were to play a best of 3 over in South American servers against KV1. Great bounce dribble, though. Good play from Evoh. Dan on Shopify with Rapid and Beast Mode. Every Twitch chat apparently loves to speculate on where Dan's going to go. He is not getting the Scrub Killa treatment. Back when Scrub Killa first became of age, he was, you know, the original 1v1 youngster that people speculated he could play well in the RLCS. There's not as many people saying, can he really do it? Can he hang in 3s? I don't know. That's what people used to say about Scrub. Evoh, nice air dribble, low 50, way to take this ball to the ground. But people would legitimately speculate, I don't know, man. I don't know if Scrub could do it. I don't know if anybody should pick him up. And then he went to Vitality, and they didn't succeed right away. So all the haters were trying to be like, oh, I was right. Scrub Killa, he wasn't quite ready. And then they made one switch, and all of a sudden he is like the MVP, the absolute best player that season, winning the championships. And it's like, oh, well, you know, it wasn't long ago that we were talking about whether or not Scrub was even ready, and now we're saying he's the MVP. That being said, maybe people have learned about the talented youngsters, and they don't dare doubt the North American youngster coming on the scene, Daniel. Maybe he doesn't start immediately. Nice long shot. Evoh finding crafty ways to score right now. This is a great shot. He is sniping some long shots that Death does not expect. And I love that. That is an old part of the game that has gone away for the most part. You don't see too many long shots or power shots from players' own side of their field. That used to be like the bread and butter of ones. Just nice, huge, strong shots to the net. But these defenders have gotten so good at adjusting and playing defense against them that you really have to be, you know, creative and sparing when you take those just strong power shots on the ground. But Evo's found a couple ways to score them, and he'll get a 6th here. A nice ground dribble. He has absolutely turned this game around. I think Death scored to go up 3-2, and since then, Evo's been on a roll. Nice kickoff win. He will try and force Death in the air. Able to grab his back corner, but Death should have more than enough time to reset here. Evoh, full field dribble. The first touch isn't great. Has to play it off the ceiling, and these guys are so good at adjusting. That is one of the best things about these, you know, full field dribble, air dribble players that can do that. Is you need to be able to just play any sort of touch. They don't always crush it with the first touch. They don't always play perfect. And all that being said, Evoh did eventually get scored on here. But when you mess up, you need to be able to, I don't know if hedge your bets is the right phrase, but basically recover and not always get counterattacked. And Evoh is one of the better ones at doing it, making sure the shot turns into something that isn't just a complete flub. Come on, Cox Internet. Yo, I think we've only been dropping frames for moments. It does look like it stopped. It drops for a bit, but it usually comes back right around when you preach for it to come back. Dang it, Cox. Oh no, oh no. We are dropping a little bit more frames. Cox doing us dirty here in a very good series. That's why you have to check out the exclamation point YouTube. Evoh has a nice lead, and as he does frequently with his nice leads, he starts to get a little bit risky. Ends up dropping this one for an easy takeaway. 36 seconds left to go. Far from over from him. It seems like chat is currently getting a full-on slideshow because they are just spamming about the chat or about the internet. Evoh playing some keep away on the back line. Great flick there to end it to make sure he both grabbed the boost and kept the ball away. That should have bought him enough time. I guess it's not necessarily over. Death. His air dribble bump not going to work. So Evoh is forcing it to a game 5. A very interesting game 3 for him. Saying that the internet was completely stopping him. But he's figured it out here. And now the internet is just stopping the stream. Not Evoh. Applications. Game 5, you're going to see chat talking about the slideshow that Cox Internet is currently giving them. But you, the YouTube crowd here, you are the elite. You laugh in the face of internet troubles, for you watch at perfect frame rate at all the time. Well, not all the time. Sometimes my actual hardware messes up. But this game is especially for you guys, as they all sit and wait for the internet to stop hating on them. Yeah, as I was going to say to the chat, though, they won't even be able to hear me, is that it doesn't have anything to do with the programs I'm running when the internet goes out. I have studied this for a long time, and it boils down to around peak times, or whatever Cox considers peak, all of a sudden they just stop working well for me. And I live in a bit of a complex, so hopefully, moving into a more separated house will have more undivided internet that doesn't get affected so much by peak times, because whenever I test stream at random morning times or non-peak times, it's always 100% perfect. It's just during these kind of peak hours that we ever run into trouble. Evoh, the air dribble bump, up 2-0. Sizz has Cox Internet too. Probably just bad because Feer is basically in Mexico. Okay, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it improves at the next place I'm going to. Death, a nice high flick. You'll get his first. What is Cox? Okay. Okay, it's COX, chat. You know that, though. Evoh, nice kickoff goal. 3-1. The unstable stream is so hard not to think about, but I promised the YouTube crowd that I will now focus on the match. I can't fix it by thinking about it. And we've got a good one. A Game 5 Death versus Evoh is a very, very high quality game. And despite a weird Game 3, every other game has been a very good one. And nice long shot from Evoh, man. He did this earlier in the last series. He just rolls backwards with a backwards rolling ball and kind of baits the defender to coming in, and they think that they can be cheeky and half come and then hover and turn around and shadow, but it's all too late. He has a very strong shot, and even starting to turn at the ball is enough for him to sneak it behind and grab his fourth. Evoh in the zone here at the start of game number 4. A chip to himself, full field dribble. The flip reset is secured, and the wave dash shot drops it in the bottom left corner. A great shot from Evoh. He is absolutely feeling it. Has to sideways wave dash into this one to just barely get underneath the ball. Death has to stop the bleeding here soon, or he could be in serious trouble. Evoh from the side wall, placed really, really well. And that is the difference between that being a huge mistake and it being a fine attempt, because jumping off the wall and using all your boosts like that, what a great quick play. is very risky. You have to place it perfect to prevent the opposition from coming out, you know, ahead, being able to get the save and the boost and the possession. You really, really need to place it well to make sure you can grab that back corner, which he did. And then now another quick shot on Death's net. Death really can't seem, or isn't expecting, to have Evoh play so fast. There's a lot of times you see him whipping around in his back half, kind of grabbing boost and prepping for the defense. And it's too little too late. Evoh is shooting quick when he has the opportunity. And Death needs to realize that he either needs to stay in net longer, maybe don't go for as many boost grabs, or just focus on quick recoveries and getting into net immediately. Because Evoh's been able to play quick to get the advantage. Evoh off the back wall, full field dribble. Not going to be able to get it there. Death. His flick attempt ends up just bumping Evoh, and great play shot, and Evoh didn't have the boost. Evoh didn't grab that back corner. Is this another one of those Evoh moments where he just, dodges the back corner boost as best as he possibly can, and then he has to sit with his single jump and can't get the save. We saw the Evoh's signature move again. The complete miss of the boost. We hadn't seen it in a long time. This time he's going to try and steal Death's boost, and he's unable to. Death air dribble bump. Evoh gets the 50 and forces Death back into the ball to save it away. Another ground dribble from Evoh, and another one that he drops in front of him instead of carrying it on the top of his car. Death will carry his, and the flick is close, but not perfect. Missing high. Evoh with space. Tried to bait Death in with another one of those backwards reverse plays. A little bit less obvious this time in the corner, but still of the same variety, making it look like a good time to challenge when it really isn't. Evoh, nice 1-2 punch, and a 7th with 1:30 left to go. A very important goal there to extend this lead at a crucial moment. These guys going back and forth a lot in the last minute, and the fact that Evoh comes out on top to extend the lead even farther could be the nail in the coffin. We don't call nails in the coffin too often here on this stream, but a 5-goal lead with 1:20 left to go. Evoh, a nice save as he keeps Death out of the net, but Death has a great kickoff possession, and what? Oh my goodness, Evoh tapping it off the side post, and what felt like a shot that was too fast, and then another chip intended to go over Evoh on low boost, but he finds a way to clip it. He does not let this ball past him. Internet be damned. He has found a way to get in front of the ball a lot more often, it seems. A Death will eventually score, but Evoh did what he needed to. Wasted so much time, every second off the clock, in favor of this big lead for him. Evoh gonna play the possession game with 50 seconds left to go. Fully taking the ball back into his half. A ring around the rosy, eventually takes the shot. He's gonna come and play super aggressive in a situation where he does not need to play aggressive. He has a big lead. He can go back, waste some more time. Instead, he turns right on top of the ball with 0 boost and dunks Death and ends the match. 8-3, a Game 5 win for Evoh, as he is able to recover from the internet issues, even though our stream was not.